paraphrase the old ditty, in Dublin's fair city where the streets are so pretty, I first set my eyes on Molly Malone. Though to be fair, the dolly with the trolley, as the city's most famous fisherwoman is affectionately known, is only one of the sights that will have you hooked. There is the sweep of the River Liffey that runs through it, beautiful in rain, wind or shine, all of which incidentally you can experience in a single half hour. From the Halfpenny Bridge to the banks to the many streets that open onto it, Dublin is a fascinating place. Its history sits front and foremost, its charm follows a close second. And let's be honest, those beautiful box windows come up third. From its cathedrals to its colleges to the extraordinary libraries they boast, because here to a man they love their letters. Lest we forget, and here honestly you really can't, this is the city that has produced some of the greatest literary giants. Yeats, Beckett, Wilde, Behan, most famously of course James Joyce. And yet hit the streets, and this is simultaneously a place that couldn't take itself too seriously if it tried. In no small measure because most of said literary greats had another thing in common, a great love of the Dublin pub. And who can blame them? It is after all the Irish way. And by the way, when planning a crawl, you should know that at last count there were 700 to choose from. And they do. Oh yes, locals, visitors and everyone in between. If there's an art a while away, they'll find a bar to do it in. But of course the question is, how is the grub that goes with the pub? As I soon found out, if you choose well, it can be very good indeed. Take Gallaghers Boxty house, located in the heart of Temple Bar, also known as Dublin's Left Bank. It's a wonderfully old world space, one that appropriately enough specializes in traditional Irish fare and more in one dish in particular. And we're here to get a crash course in it.
Hello, how are you? Welcome to Gallaghers Boxty house.
Thank you so
If you'd
much.
like to come into the kitchen and I'll show you how to make some traditional Irish boxty pancake.
Oh, solid. Thank you.
Yes, we're heading into the kitchen where Paddy will be showing me what goes into the making of a type of pancake particular to the Emerald Isle. And it's a dish that travels back further than you would believe. And it's all tied in with our first ingredient.
Boxty goes back as far as the potato.
Really?
It's what you would have made years ago to with what ingredients you had.
Okay.
The farmers would have before they went out for the day's work. It's a pretty heavy dish, so it would sustain you for near enough the whole day while you're at work.
Okay.
We'll take that
Sounds
potato
like my
now.
kind of food.
Now we put it in the towel, and this is where the old housewives would get a good workout.
Oh.
So you take all the starch. So what we have then is we get some flour and then we get potato. Now this is cooked. It's important that the mashed potato is cooked, mashed and then chilled.
Okay.
A nice pinch of salt
Right.
and then milk. Now you get in,
Okay. And you mash it all together.
you mash it all together.
This is like a pancake batter now.
Yeah, it's a pancake batter, okay?
Nice,
Potato
okay.
pancake batter.
Yeah.
So then we're going to add our grated raw potato.
Okay.
Alright, so batter mixed, it's straight to the pan.
Boxty, you'll know the boxty when it's cooked because
Right.
it will. You will see it bubble and then it's going to dry
And
out.
that's actually like with normal pancakes also, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Right?
now
All
you
right.
want to come through to the dining room and we'll experience the boxty firsthand.
Perfect.
But of course, by the time I head outside and to my table, my boxty's been souped up a little. Did I say little? I meant a lot. Their tagline says, the humble spud made beautiful, and they're not wrong. Look at this. It's not an understatement. Tender medallions of perfectly seared Irish fillet wrapped in boxty, served doused in a whiskey and a mushroom cream sauce.
Okay, this is fantastic. Honestly, comforting, full of flavor, and you know, since this is the special Gaelic Boxty, I think it's only fair that I pay tribute to it by saying Toshe Gahanawa, which means it's delicious, except it sounds a lot prettier in Gaelic than any other way I could hope to say it.
There's a plate with smaller bites of boxty, almost gnocchi-like, only denser. This stew happily comes drowning in more mushrooms, some local blue, and more of that marvellous Irish cream. So this is what potato paradise tastes like.
Well, it's the history behind. I mean, Irish, the best history. You're stemming back to basically to bring something back that's been lost. I mean, you still will find it in Leitrim and Cavan and Fermanagh, you know. But if you ask a lot of people down closer to Dublin, they wouldn't understand what Boxty is, you know. So we do try and, you know, you keep it alive, really. You know, it's not lost. You know, it's been redeveloped. It's coming back.
Proof lies in the corned beef, a dish that again harks back to a tradition of spicing and salting it for longevity. Today's treatment just leads to deliciousness, the kind that ensures it doesn't last long indeed.
It doesn't surprise me that as many battles were fought here, you know, as there were. After all, if an army marches on its stomach and this is what it marched on, I mean, they'd probably be spoiling for a fight, right? You know?
I then get to my first cup of the other Dublin must-do, their chowder. Creamy, seafoody, satisfying. But then I had to move on to this. Yes, the gravy-laden bowl of lamb, potatoes, vegetable and country-grown comfort that with dazzling understatement is referred to simply as Irish stew.
An Irish meal is back to the basics, you know, where you make a beef stock and like our lamb stew here, that's, we make our own stocks. Yeah. But it's when you see our Irish stew here as well. An Irish tea would be, from an Irish household, would be, when you eat that, you basically wouldn't be able to get off the chair, yeah. You know.
Here's the other thing that I think is possibly unique to Ireland, which is that all of this food, and it's, you know, it's all delicious, it's all hearty, but it's all food that everyone ate across the land. Prince, peasant, everyone in between. They may soup it up, they may have access to better ingredients, but this is what an entire nation ate, and happily for all of us, continues to.